Hey everybody, this is Adam from realworldworship.org. It's a website and a blog primarily for worship leaders in average-sized churches. Nothing wrong with big churches. I grew up in a big church, but the average church in America is not a big church, and so we try to focus on things for worship leaders in those settings, and hopefully you find good resources there. I'm also a guitar player, so we do a lot of talk about electric guitars. And I wanted to talk today about this. This is the Titan Guitars KR-1. They are made by the same folks that make KR guitars out in the Sacramento area. And KR guitars are super high-quality, high-end boutique electric guitars. I own one. I have another on the way. I love them. This is their budget model. And they start at $12.99, so they're not cheap, right? But what KR did was they said, we want to make a more accessible price point for our guitars, but we still want them to be made in America. We still want them to be made by us, by hand, high quality, all of that stuff. And you'll see like Bad Cat Amps has their PCB version of their high quality stuff that's manufactured elsewhere, or that's there, but it's not hand wired. Veritas just came out with their budget series, but that's mass produced somewhere else in like Korea or something like that. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with stuff made in other parts of the world. Some of my favorite guitars ever that I've ever held in my hand have not been made in America. Fender CIJ Telecaster, a couple of them that I've played, fantastic. I've actually been really impressed with the Squier stuff coming out of Indonesia. I think the workmanship on the Indonesia stuff that I've played is really, really good, and it's not their fault that they're getting the cheap electronics, cheap hardware. Like, that's not their fault. Their craftsmanship is high quality. So it's really just a question of, if I want an American-made guitar, do I want one that's mass-produced, or do I want one that's built kind of by hand, with love, all that stuff? And I can't afford, the thousands and thousands of dollars that a Veritas, a KR, a TMG, a Danacaster, any of these like high-end kind of guitars cost. So I want something at a more accessible price point. Now, there's not much point. I mean, I can play it. Right now it's on the, it has a Lawler gold foil pickup in the neck and a Lawler Special T in the bridge. And that's what it sounds like. That's running into my Kemper on a kind of a voxy sound, but that doesn't matter, because and I'm going to link to this. The best Titan KR-1 demo online right now is the one that 60 Cycle Hum did, because they had multiple loaded pick guards and they switched them out so you could hear different sounds. But the the Titan in a lot of ways is a blank slate. The wood is basswood or basswood. I'm not really sure which one you're supposed to say. The wood's basswood or basswood. It's a really neutral wood, and it has a swimming pool route. So if you take off this pick guard, you can order another loaded pick guard, because these are loaded pick guards. Like, the wiring and the knobs and everything aren't stuck to the body. So you can pull this out, and you can order another loaded pick guard. And so, like, if I wanted this sound, I was playing like main service, and then let's say there was like a Sunday night youth thing, and I wanted a different sound, I could take this out and put a Stratocaster set of pickups, a Jazzmaster set of pickups, humbuckers, really whatever you want. Like, there's kind of no limit to what you can imagine. If you have some rare pickup that you personally have, you could send it to them and they can load it in one of their pick guards and send it back to you. So there's all kinds of options. And that's actually the really cool thing. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. The next guitar I should probably get, just knowing what I have. I have a guitar. I have a KR that has TV Jones Powertrons in it, so kind of in between a Gretsch Filtertron and a Gibson PAF. I also have a KR Arcturus on the way that's going to have Jazzmaster in the neck and P90 in the bridge. And then I have a Telecaster that's a Fender American Standard stock Telecaster, so it's got that classic twangy sound. the Telecaster pickup here doesn't quite have that same sound. So it's nice. It's a totally different Telecaster kind of sound. So a Stratocaster would be the next kind of guitar I should probably pick up. I don't need to go buy a Stratocaster. I just need to save up a few $100 and order a loaded pickguard with Strat pickups in it. And then if I want that Strat sound, I can take off this pickguard and put in that other one. And if you go check out the 60 cycle hum demo that I'm linking to, he shows you how quick and easy it is. It's like 10 minutes or less of work, and you can automatically have a new guitar. I mean, you could between sets, like let's say that you're playing and you're doing a Telecaster setup, and then second, you're doing multiple services, and like the second or the third service, and even small churches do multiple services. One of the churches I was on the plant team for, they're not a big church, but because of their building, they run 2 services. And so let's say that you were tasked with one assignment as a guitar player, and then second service, somebody had to go home, or somebody got sick and had to leave. You could throw in your other pickguard and have a totally different sound that would be more fitting to just one guitar player. So that's all those options. Now, these start at $12.99, which I think is a totally fair price for these. The necks are made, they're the only thing not made in-house, but they're made to Titan specs. They're made by Grover Jackson, and they couldn't afford to keep the price point that low if they didn't have somebody else making the necks. Fantastic neck. But everything else, the body's cut by Titan at the KR factory shop. It's somewhere in between a shop and a factory. The pick guards, everything else, it's all there. It's a totally fair price point. You pick up one of these, and this is the third one. Titan gave us a demo one that I used a year or 2 years ago at the Church Collective West Coast Conference. I was flying down to California to do that conference, and I didn't want to bring a guitar on the airplane, and so because it was on the, I flew into Sacramento. That's where Titan's made, and then I picked one up, a loaner for the weekend, and it was a gold-colored one with Lawler wide range pickups, kind of like a Fender 72 Deluxe would have. And then I bought one of these used last year, and it had a TV Jones Powertron in the bridge and essentially a Firebird or a Seymour Duncan mini humbucker in the neck. And I loved that guitar. I needed to sell it actually to fund getting the Kemper, and I was able to pick this one back up, and I love the Titan, but it's totally worth it at that price point. Now, here's the thing. The KR-1, and they have a KR-2 coming out, which is bigger, it's semi-hollow, but the same pickguard configuration. But the KR-1 at $12.99 is totally worth it. The paint is something you need to be aware of. The type of kind of matte finish that they do relics very easily, and you can already see, the little dings and stuff. So this guitar is going to relic naturally, very, very easily. Some people don't care. Some people would say that's a deal breaker. That's up to you. Anything above $12.99 though, and that's the thing. So like they come in white, green, and blue with what they did is initially you could order like any color, any pickup configuration. It was $12.99. And then what they realized was, for a profit standpoint, they were losing money doing all of these custom jobs. So they said, here's our 3 most popular colors with our 3 most popular pickup configurations. These are the ones people are ordering. We're going to have those at $12.99. You order it and you get it in like less than 2 weeks, which is unheard of for a custom guitar, right? Less than 2 weeks order time. Most custom build guitars are like 6 months to a year or a million years if it's Elliott, right? And then, but what they'll still do is they said, because it costs us extra to handle all this custom orders, is if you custom order one, you can go in and you can say, I want it this color with this pickup configuration, non-standard, all that. But it costs you more. And I did the math. To get this guitar would be like $1,850 because of all the custom stuff on it, the Bigsby, the extra, the gold pick guard, the extra pickups, all that stuff. It'd be about $1,800. I don't think this guitar is worth $1,800, and that's not a slight on the KR-1 at all. I love this guitar. In fact, out of all my guitars, this might be my favorite guitar right now, and that includes my KR. my much more expensive guitar. I think this is worth $12.99, or I mean a little bit more, because I understand you'd have to pay more, even in the original run of KR-1s. You'd have to pay more for a Bigsby. I get that, but I think it's worth that, the $12.99 base price. So what I would say is I would tell anybody that was thinking about doing a custom KR-1 not to do it, because I don't think it's worth it. I think the base price is totally worth it. This is a better guitar than the equivalent Fender, and that's really the most comparable thing. Like if you take like a Fender, they used to call them Deluxe Series. Now I think they call them Elite Series. This is better. This is better than any of those level Fenders that you're going to pick up off the shelf. It's as good as anything else. I mean, think about it. It's like $900, $1,000 for that new Veritas export or import series. For like a couple $100 more, you get something made in America, something that is made by the people. It's not actually just sourced out and here's our brand name slapped on. And so it's totally worth that. Now that being said, I did do the math, and instead of ordering a custom KR-1, what I would recommend doing is ordering a stock one, standard, and then going onto their mod shop and ordering a loaded pickguard. For the cost of a standard one plus the loaded pickguard that you want, it's cheaper than ordering the custom KR-1. And if you're like, well, I gotta have that gold top color, I guess, but to me, having the color I want, I'd rather just get the pickguard I want and then buy the standard one, So that to me is the way to go. I think these are fantastic guitars. Since I think any genre can use them, especially because of the swimming pool route. But for church players, these are just absolutely great guitars. You're going to get a high quality guitar, way cheaper than any of the these ones that people think they have to have. Oh, I got to have that TMG. I got to have that. I have played multiple TMGs. I like this better. I've owned Danacasters. Those things are works of art. But I think that this neck is just as good as the neck on my Danacaster. This is lighter than my Danacaster was. And I just think they're fantastic. I'm going to switch over to a dirt setting just so you can hear that. I mean, not that it matters. Again, here's the neck or the bridge pickup and some dirt. Like you could get this with humbuckers, you could get this with Filtertrons, you could get this with Jazzmasters or Jaguar pickups, and you'd have a totally different sound. Like I said, this thing is really a blank slate, and I think church players especially, you will find an incredibly versatile guitar, incredibly high quality guitar at a really good value point. So I highly recommend them. Check out TitanGuitars.com, and if you want to get that higher end guitar, I do recommend KR-Guitars.com as well. I play Kowers, I play Titans. Highly recommend them. Doug is my fashion icon, and I've met him. He's not a Christian. I don't think we have to I only buy from Christian builders. That's silly. I mean, I've been personally hosed by Christian builders. Other guys have been hosed by other Christian builders. I'm not interested in that. I'd love for Doug to be a Christian. I'd love for Doug to know the saving grace of Jesus Christ. But I'm as far as buying a guitar, this is a fantastic guitar, and I highly recommend that you check them out. All right, check out realworldworship.org for resources, both for electric guitar players. I think my stuff for electric guitar players, while it's written for church players, is applicable to all guitar players, and stuff for worship leaders as well. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.